250 years. That's a quarter of a millennium. Wow, what an incredible milestone for a nation that began its journey with farmers, blacksmiths, shopkeepers, ordinary people, just like you and me. People who dared to do something extraordinary. And yet, here we are, celebrating America's 250th birthday. But did you know that birthday almost wasn't on July 4th? Yeah, that's right. It could have just as easily have been on July the 2nd, because it was on that day, back in 1776, that Congress officially voted for independence. You know, John Adams himself thought that July the 2nd would be the day that we would celebrate for generations to come. He wrote to his wife Abigail saying, "The second day of July 1776 will be the most memorable epoch in the history of America. It ought to be solemnized with pomp and parade, with shows, games, sports, guns, bells, bonfires, and illuminations from one end of this continent to the other, from this time forward forevermore." Wow, what a letter, right? But you know what? History had other plans. See, the Declaration of Independence was not finalized and adopted until the July 4th. And so, of course, that date that we all hold dear was set in stone. But still, the spirit that Adams envisioned, if not the date, lives on. You know, pomp, parade, and illuminations from coast to coast. Yeah, right. Lots of illuminations from coast to coast if you've ever seen a large fireworks display. But I want to get serious for just a minute. More importantly, we really need to remember what God has done for this nation beyond the fireworks and the celebrations, whether they're done on the 2nd or the 4th. I want you to think about something. Think about what it took to birth this nation, right? A ragtag nation of farmers, shopkeepers, preachers. That militia stood toe-to-toe against the mightiest empire that the world had ever seen. Hey, they had no business winning that war. You know, they were outnumbered, outgunned, outspent, outflanked, and undertrained. And yet, somehow they prevailed. Why, you might ask? Well, because God's hand was upon them. I firmly believe that with all my heart. You see, from the very beginning, this nation has been blessed by the providence of Almighty God. He gave courage to the hearts of those patriots in 1776. He gave wisdom to our founders as they drafted a constitution unlike any that the world had ever seen. He gave protection to the warriors who have fought for our freedom, and He has preserved us a nation through countless trials, wars, tragedies, and divisions, because I believe His plan for America was not finished. Let's be honest here. You know, we have faced some pretty dark days, haven't we? Yeah. Civil War, world wars, economic collapse, 9/11, COVID, and a bunch of other things. But through it all, we have endured, not because of our own strength, but because of God's grace. As Francis Scott Key so powerfully wrote in the last stanza of our national anthem, you know, that's the stanza that few people even sing anymore or even remember the lyrics to anymore. One phrase says, "Praise the power that hath made and preserved us a nation." Now let that sink in for just a second. You know, it's not just our strength that has preserved us. It's God's strength, His grace. You know, 250 years ago, our founders looked to God for guidance as they took a leap of faith into the unknown. Today, as we celebrate America's 250th birthday, Rather than looking back with pride, I think we ought to look up with humility. Let's thank the God who has blessed us, who's protected us, who has loved us, who has guided us, who has taken care of us, who has preserved us. And even more, let's commit ourselves as a people to seeking Him for the next 250 years. So later today or tomorrow, whether you're lighting a sparkler, walking your dog, grilling with your family, watching fireworks light up the night sky, or pausing to reflect on the blessings we enjoy, remember this: America's story is one of freedom, built on a solid foundation of faith. It's about a nation that has stood, often in the face of insurmountable odds, not in its own strength, but by the amazing grace of a holy God. And as long as we continue to seek Him, well, I do believe that this nation's best days are still ahead. So, happy 250th birthday, America. May God bless you, and may God continue to bless the United States of America. Dr. Joe, signing out.